It was just a test anyways, right,
Yeah,
guys? Just a
yeah.
test.
Yep. We were warming up.
Yeah, that was the
We
warm up.
were.
We were warming up
Okay,
All
for
right,
this.
now
now
we're
it's
live.
live.
Okay, we're live
Now it is. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to Cap Rates episode 22, a Last Cloudia podcast. My name is DK, and we have our fellow hosts here, guests, whatever. We have That Zero. Go ahead and say something, That Zero.
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing?
And then the always beautiful and fantastic Jawline.
What's up, everybody?
All right, guys. So today we're actually going over Maylys. I don't know if we've actually distinguished exactly how to say her name just yet. I know there's some things running out there with Maylys, Melee.
It's just Maylys. It's
Melee,
Maylys. I
okay.
don't think it's that hard.
So yeah,
No,
well-
it's that hard. We're good.
So we're actually gonna be talking about how the character performs. I was unfortunately I was not able to get the unit. Neither was Jawline, but Zero had amazing luck this run and was able to pull the UR and the unit. So he will actually be taking the leading the podcast in today, so that we can go ahead and see exactly how good she is, how she performs, anything negative, positive about her. So go ahead, take it away, Zero.
Yeah. So I guess I'll just start with initial impressions. Obviously, I was very excited last week when
Right.
she was revealed.
Yeah, you couldn't stop smiling.
I love ailments in general. Like anytime that you have some sort of a mechanic to play around, it's just a lot of fun.
Mm.
And for people that have Logia, who's in the general pool, so lots of accounts can have him, he's still pretty useful today, mainly because of a skill called Paranoia that just makes him really, really crazy. Plus, he's got a good kit anyway. But she's another one of these units, and this is a rare archetype. We don't see these types of units very much. Like there's a lot of units that can be used to apply ailments, but ones that use them and have their kit actually built and themed heavily around it. We basically have Logia and V,
Right.
and she's the third one over the 2.5 years we've had this game now. Almost.
Right. Yeah.
And she's like the big dick DPS version of that, which is very fun because people like their damage.
Right.
Logia was really good back in the day, but she's like Logia on crack. It's pretty fantastic. So I have found some things over roughly a week of testing, some things that are good, things that are bad. Overall, definitely leans towards the good side much more than anything else. So one of the things that I think newer players, or maybe players just that aren't too informed on some of the various mechanics of the games, might be disappointed in her with, is her damage without playing her gimmick. Because her gimmick is obviously applying status ailments, so stun, silence, curse, etc., all that sort of stuff. Previously, like in the past, you would use an ailment support to enable things like Terra Melt, which is a damage bonus if there's an ailment applied. So she's somebody that uses that heavily and then has more of those effects built into her kit. And she has this way of scaling that I don't know if they just did the damage formula really interesting on her or what, because she has all these damage multipliers, but I have issues if there's no ailments on enemies hitting over 10k, unless it's a crit. Crits are usually capping pretty reliably, but if not, she just doesn't do. She has a hard time hitting higher numbers. At least in my experience. Maybe with Slayers and stuff it helps, but just innately, if you're not playing the Slayer game, she doesn't hit that hard. But as soon as you get one ailment on an enemy, super easy, really, really big damage. You don't have to worry about Trish, usually, unless it's crazy high res, but I was fighting things with 50, 60 res and doing just fine. And if you go and actually put proper Slayers on, it gets even better. So yeah, as long as you're playing around her gimmick, which is applying ailments, she does very, very well. So for anybody that's finding that she's just not hitting her numbers for some reason, I encourage you to try the gimmick, try to understand what ailments are, how you apply them. Her skills in general, they apply them when she actually uses abilities. Well, she has a chance to. At least that's how these work. And usually when you have these types of abilities, there's basically a chance per skill, a single percentage chance in order to apply these. So this can give blind, curse, and then this is some resisted downs. But whatever these percentages are, I think it's probably 20% or something. I don't know. That happens once. It's not a per hit thing. So I think it's something like a specific hit within the combo has a chance of actually applying that effect. Maybe with dual wield, there's 2 hits, so there's maybe 2 chances of that particular hit. I don't know. I need to test it more. But that's not that's not a reliable way to get your ailments on, which is why the researches exist. And she comes with some really good ones innate. So you need to go and use something like a null melt, which is going to drop all their resistances, which effectively like doubles your odds of being able to apply things. It's really, really great. And then use some regular attacks on things, or run a different unit that can apply ailments and have them help you out if you just want to dash in and start murdering things. Like I talked about, V's really good. She pairs super well with V because he gets the null melt effect on all enemies at wave start, so you don't even have to waste time doing it. And then he's just the best ailment applier in the game. Early on, I saw some people being like, "Oh, we finally got V 2.0." We do not have V 2.0. This is Logia 2.0. Like very specifically for applying ailments, V is unmatched completely. I would say, of the short list of things I don't think she's good at, I don't think she's that crazy at applying ailments. She is the bottom line most serviceable I think she needs to be effective. But I talked about before last week, one of the things that we didn't know that could determine if she's like really, really cracked or like just a little bit less so is how good your auto attacks are. And what I was hoping is maybe we'd get like a 4 or a 5 hit combo that's like super duper fast. Maybe she'd like jab with her scissors or something really, really quick. But it's basically Logia's animation, which is just like a relatively slow 3-slash with like kind of a decent little AoE. So like it doesn't cover a huge range. It doesn't have a lot of range. You have to be pretty close to things. So sometimes you can get hit on your way to get to enemies before you can apply them if you're not having things get CC'd by other means. If you're not maybe grouping with some support that can group for you to make that easier. So if she's just by herself and opponents have reach, you might not be able to get close enough to actually be applying ailments really, really quickly. And even when you do, it's only 3 hits, 6 with dual wield, which is just not insane. It's good enough. I think Logia's is 4 and goes up to 8. So it's just not crazy. I was hoping for more on auto attacks, but not the end of the world. Her damage is good enough, and her kit, which is the best part, it totally makes up for it. It's really, really great. So other things that we didn't really know is things like stocks on skills. That's a thing. Cooldowns on skills, for that matter. I talked about that. Like Paranoia is really great. For anybody that doesn't know what Paranoia is, it's a skill that basically, whenever you apply a new ailment to someone, you get 5 SET. So 5 seconds.
Oh, it's 5.
It's insane.
I believe it's 5. I can look that up real quick if you thought it was something different. I'm pretty sure it's 5 though. It's really crazy.
I just forgot what it was. I mean, I knew it recovered SET. I just didn't know how much it was because I like I said, I haven't even used what's his name, Logia. I haven't used him in forever, so I completely forgot about Paranoia.
Yeah, it's 5. So it's the same as Pose of Glory when you get a kill, except it's upon applying one. So this means if you go into a mob of things and you apply one ailment to 3 of them, don't kill anyone, just apply one ailment to 3 different enemies, get 15 seconds back of all your cooldowns. You apply 2, it just gets exponentially crazy. If there's more enemies on the field, they're grouped and you can spam a whole bunch, it gets obscene. And then if you start killing things, you can also have Pose for Glory going. I found, in general, I don't really have to run something like Pirate Feast on her. I can just run Skill Charge 1. That's pretty much it. Because basically you can go in, and even if she's not hitting cap, if things don't have ailments yet, her S1 is really nice, even though it's only 5 hits. It's a really, really good covering skill. You could apply blind to anything that you hit, or you could kill them if you have Pose for Glory. And between the combination of those things, usually by the next wave, she's either 50% up on her stocks or completely maxed. She's really, really great for it. Or if you don't even want to run Skill Charge 1, you could just run in and start autoing things. And assuming you can get a few auto attacks off, like I said, it's baseline serviceable. It is. It will work well enough, especially if you take the time to apply a null melt on things. And you're going to get SET like crazy. Which just, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask, okay, so there's this thing whenever I get a new unit or whenever I'm just messing around with a unit, I'll give them Elder King Mask. If you guys don't know what that is, it prevents you from using your skills So I use that in order to find out exactly how much SET a skill is, because that prevents, not only does it prevent you from using skills, it prevents you from gaining SET, charge over time. So I like to like mess around with the abandoned city of the sea arc and like skill charges just to see what exactly their SET is and their skills. Do you by chance know what her SET is?
I don't know what all of them are, but I do know roughly what Scissor Wraith is, the S1, because it's so nutty and it's part of the reason I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Scissor Wraith is only like an 8 or a 9-second cooldown.
What?
Skill charge 1 gives you about 2.25 charges. And quick charge is 20
Real
seconds.
technical.
So I assume, it's about 8 or 9 seconds, roughly. Which is nutty.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's really, really insane. So yeah, her S1 is definitely a huge highlight of the kit. And that was one of those surprises. Functionally, the way that it works, for anyone that has like Shift Kyle and his S1, how it's like pillars of fire that travel out in a line a little bit slowly and like lift things and then push them to the back of the map. It's like that, except I think there's maybe a little less push and more so just like messing your day up, and it's much faster. So like his is kind of slow and chunky. This feels like it's probably 50 to 100% faster. Like it goes so much quicker and it feels way more lethal. So you can spam them really, really quick if you're just looking to quickly clear a map. Just throw like 2 or 3 and just you have pillars of scissors going at people, just wiping out waves of things. It's a beautiful thing. Very satisfying, while getting you skill charges for everything else because you're probably blinding and killing some things along the way. So it's awesome.
It hurts that I don't have her.
And I can't. The thing that I've found really hard in Discord lately is people asking, should I get Maylys? And I'm like,
Oof,
I can't recommend you go for Maylys if you just started. Like, I can't in good conscience do that because the white banner exists.
Right.
And like, if you're intelligent, you're just gonna pity some top tier unit. If you can, in 30k, if you can luck into Maylys, it's probably better than getting somebody on the pity banner. No lie.
Absolutely. I 100%
Because
agree.
on a new account, she's fucking crazy. Paranoia is busted for a new player because like skill cooldown is a hot commodity early game, which is why if you just happen to get something like Rebel Dragoons or Final Oath in like your infinite reroll or something, you're looking great because Pose for Glory is so good for a new account.
Right.
And a skill charge or whatever.
So someone in the chat, Games You Love, says his confusion is from the phrasing of the skills. Does Gamma Knight from the FFA Adventures arc also trigger Dazzling Wings? I know we haven't gotten to her kit, but I want to say that it doesn't, just because Dazzling Wings says, I know it's phrasing. It says when evading a physical attack, chance to negate damage, and then it says period when negating damage, chance to apply blind. So I can see why he's asking that, because it's a period.
Or
is that a comma?
Here's the difference. Dazzling Wings is specifically for nullifying. It has nothing to do with dodging. They are very different mechanics for zero reason, but they are different.
Yeah.
So things.
Gamma Knight does the same thing though. It nullifies. I know it says chance to evade.
Okay, hold on.
But it actually.
So I can see what you're talking about here. Gemini.
Negating. Yeah.
Oh, chance of negating magic.
It's negating.
Damage. Okay.
I know it says physical, but I can see why he would ask, does it also apply? Because it says it's period, and then it says if damage is nullified.
I would need to test that specifically.
Right.
My guess is it might work. It might totally work because it is at least negating damage. So I think that probably is the case. But yeah, I would need to test that a little bit more. So yeah, negate versus nullified. I would assume that negate and nullify are synonyms within the verbiage of the game. I think evade is the only thing that's different. So probably. Okay. So by the reading of it, I think that would be the case. But I could talk to Lake. He might know because he might have the actual data mine on that. So. But yeah, with that in mind, I'm running things to maximize that just
Oh,
because I think it's
Is that a
fun.
paid weapon there? Oh,
wow, is that a paid? What?
Dang.
Oh, yes, it is. But I was more so highlighting my accessories that probably other people aren't always running. But
Oh no, I see that.
yeah. I like my jank. I could just run a bunch of big PV stuff, but she caps anyway, so why not run some utility, you know?
Right.
Zero is free to play, by the way. Don't mind that paid weapon.
Yeah, free to play, by the way. This little guy, don't worry about that little guy.
Yeah, I just
Don't
gave
worry
it to
about that
him.
little-
You
yeah,
know,
don't worry about that
easy.
little guy. So that brings me to actually, there's two other key negatives that I'd talk about. So I already talked about her auto attacks they're just good enough. They're fine. They're nothing to write home about. They're not insane by any means, and you can, get flinched by bigger enemies and maybe not get close enough to hit reliably without proper support or tactics. Also, her skills, especially something like God Ripper that has the huge hit at the end,
Right.
she can get flinched out of these. She's pretty susceptible to flinch, kind of like Levi. Like, she's got the same problem Levi does. Like, the only thing that persists is Scissor Wraith, her S1, and this isn't her main DPS thing. Unless you're in arena.
I was just about to ask you that. Yeah, what skill do you find you use more often than all the other ones? Like if it's PvP, PvE, or just in general, which one do you use more often, do you think?
I would say usually I start with S3s, at least in PvE, and then probably go to Soul Torture just for lots of hit counts. If I'm ranged, obviously I'll throw some Scissor Wraith in there too, or if I just want to apply some blind from range and I want to just spam them, because at least they're just quick to dump these at least, so it
Right.
doesn't hurt. So you may as well like dump some of these after an S3, so that if you're applying ailments with Paranoid from these, you're getting more charges of Scissor Wraith. So like trying to be efficient, like I'll spam them just because they go off quickly. But for when I'm actively trying to do damage, I'll usually go S3 and then probably into S2. In Arena, it's totally different. Arena, I'll usually go in with God Ripper first to try to nuke something off the board, and more importantly, get onto their side of the board. And then from there, they're usually piling up on my Gorm. And then from range, I'll just throw Scissor Wraiths until everyone's dead.
So arena wise, what do you think how do you think her presence is? Like
I
is
think
it
she stands on top with any other like whoever you think is like the best DPS unit. I think she is comparable, like on top. She's crazy good.
really?
She's obscenely good. And also, her kit really plays nicely, I found, on just with the AI, which is really hard to find. One of the key things that you want with having good AI for arena, like when we're talking defense, or if you are just lazy and want to play on full auto because you're a crazy person like me, you need to have a really good S1, otherwise your kit's probably going to fall apart. And if she's stuck using S1s, you're pretty happy because they're disgusting in arena. Like, absolutely disgusting. So what I do is, well, first of all, one of the other things that I think was a mystery mark that we didn't know how good it would be is how many charges of S3 does she get? Because that affects PvP. It affects like Pirate Feast for PvE.
Right.
Her S3 gets 3 innate.
What the hell? Really?
Awesome. Fucking great.
Super crazy.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. So, what I do, at least when I'm on full auto, is I don't even run skill charge 3, so that I specifically get 1 charge of this. She'll instantly dash in, and whether she goes after the tank or whatever, which is really likely, things will probably like use their flinch immunity, run away from her. I probably won't get full damage unless I'm happen to target somebody like Theria. Then I probably instantly nuke her off the board, or somebody else that's squishy. Otherwise, I'm now on their side of the board with backstab damage, and her AI is just throwing Scissor Wraiths at a group of people on Gorm. That's how the AI works out.
Yeah.
She uses S3 to get to their side of the board, and then just throws S1s across the map.
Wow.
Maglion, backstabs, like she comes with Human Slayer.
Yeah,
It's
just nasty.
It's a thing. It's really good, and she's really gross.
Would you say she's a priority target?
What do you mean? Like, if we get another like 30k pity banner, is she worth like?
Oh no, sorry, I'm sorry. I meant in PvP, like on defense, is she a priority?
I haven't seen a lot of her on defense to know how bad it is for like other people.
Right.
But I would say she probably ranks among like You know, if you're scared of 2B, you should probably be scared of her too.
Hmm.
Because like she can be pretty gross. And when she has stuff like Goddess Advocate to like reduce your critical hit chance, and she comes with like auto protect and some other defensive things that I can't remember off the top of my head. If she say has like a Gorm buff and it's a well-built Gorm, she
Mm-hmm.
can be kind of tough to take out and kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Her main flaw is just that, like I said, outside of like the flinch immunity window, she's pretty susceptible to flinch. So like if you're not running like Theria to make sure she can not get flinched by Blizzard, and like maybe you're not doing well at keeping range and things are getting on top of her and attacking her before she can hit things, she can get flinched and she can lose some damage and start having a bad time. But the way it works out on offense at the very least is God Ripper to their side of the map and then just throw scissors until the match is over, which happens really fast because she'll snipe off respawn. She'll just use Paranoia. You basically get infinite scissor wraiths for the rest of the match.
Mm-hmm.
And the power, I don't know if it's like the scaling or what it is on this, but I expected it to be something that would be super duper good for cleaning up decoy respawns, which it is. But then also, as soon as things respawn with their second life, she also 1 to 2 shots everything anyway. So, like when I saw people using Demon Rim, and the method for that would be like, hey, run over to the enemy spawn while they're piling up on your guy or on your allure tank, and then just like spam S1s into the crowd in S3s. And then just like sit there and just kind of own the entire match as things respawn with more S1s. That's basically what she does.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I literally sit there like this and I just tap S1 and things just die. That's it. That's all I have to do. It's great. It's absolutely great.
Have you tried her on defense any?
I haven't taken the time to set her up.
Oh,
I
okay.
instead took the time to go to the feedback channel and say, hey, Adis, please give me a way to just fucking copy my offense to defense because I don't want to do this shit anymore.
Oh yeah, that's such a pain in the ass.
I hate trying to mimic my build. Like, I
Yeah.
just want to copy the thing I'm using over to here and see what happens.
I always
And I
forget
can't do
something.
that.
I always
Yeah,
forget
I always
something,
fuck
man.
something up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, this is way worse than I thought. Oh, I literally missed this huge key piece in my build. Okay.
Right.
Do you want to show me her summary? I know we have it, but I haven't really looked at her kit
Yeah,
at
yeah,
all
yeah.
when
Do
she
you want
came
me to
out.
take gear off to make sure there's not any other things? Actually, I think this is it.
That's
Like
it.
her
That's
ailment.
it. Yeah, res, poison,
So,
blind, nil,
so
curse.
curse and illness nil is fucking awesome.
That's pretty cool.
And then we
Right
just
off
have
the
some
bat.
resist in poison and blind, which is just cool, free, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, another flaw. This stun neutral kind of sucks. So like if you have room in the build, it's probably worth the 10 SC to just make that go nil or put some gear on her.
Yeah.
I have had times where people will run that Ghost Hime ether reward.
Yeah.
And she's gotten stunned.
Oh.
Which sucks. Like I run cure all on Theria, so it only takes her out of the fight for like a few seconds, unless Theria's dead, at which case fuck my life. I'll have to kill everything off my respawn, or Eliza's gonna have to clean up. But you know, we do what we can. Yeah, but in general, these resists are really really great. So just be warned that at higher level PvP, when people are smart enough to run that Hime robe that can apply ailments when you're getting killed, yeah, she can get stunned if you're not covering this. So be cautious.
About her elemental resistances. So she's neutral to fire, weak to ice, which is kind of interesting. I didn't picture her being weak to ice, but she is. Neutral to earth and neutral to thunder. With people running, I've seen a lot of people run gaze at the end on defense. But are any of the units that we have now like a big threat to her? Like if you're running her on offense and like someone catches you like by surprise, which of these 4 elements of the units do you think would be the one to catch you? I don't know if I'm asking that correctly.
I understand what you're saying. Like if any of these would be a problem specifically.
Right.
I mean, I don't really think so. If I guess I've had a couple of times where I was really careless and not paying attention, and like maybe I would happen to get tagged by like a Levi S3, and it might nuke her harder than I would expect or something. But usually, since I'm on the other side of the board, it's fine. So I don't really care. I tend to not fight Roys just because it's easy. Like I found Roy's really weird with the AI. I don't know if it's like some weird delay where like I could instantly nuke them before they get their animation to happen, and like maybe it'll still throw a thing, and it's just like a dice roll every time I fight a Roy. Like, is it a good Roy? Is it a bad Roy? Is he gonna get to throw an S3 without me actually seeing the animation for it? I just don't know. So I just don't fight him, but like I'm literally fighting like any other teams and I'm doing pretty good. And I've been using her basically when I do my arena, I basically run Shift Eliza with Theria and Gorm, and then just my sub DPS swaps out to whoever I feel like. I was running Roy because I finally got his AI to not be completely horse shit, you know. But I replaced him with Maylys because conveniently enough, Eliza's anima not only reduces fire resistance but also light resistance, so weak point boost on Maylys, pretty baller.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, some synergy. And then inversely, if I'm for some reason not killing, Maylys can enable Terror Melt for Eliza. So, you know, little cross synergy between the DPSs, which is great. And I found on full auto at least, she's been way better than Roy. I've been loving it.
Really?
Yeah, so much better. Just because like Roy's good. He's solid. Like he was working for me, but like he doesn't charge S3s super quick. Like he'll get one.
Yeah.
If he chains kills, he might get a second, and then he's gonna be on S1s. Her S1 is miles better than his. Like his is really good. Hers is insane.
Hers persists, right?
Yeah, hers persists.
Okay.
And it also does the row too. So like if you need to manual control, you can do the stuff that you like what you do back when Rudo came in and people would use Nero and be like, oh, I can only hit you. I guess I'll go stand behind Theria before I S3 at you then. You can do that with S1s. So you just go sit behind units if you're targeting Rudo, and you just shoot at Ruto through their teammates with S1s. And you just don't give a fuck. And you usually one or two shot everything. She's pretty nutty. My only disappointment so far in Arena with her is I really, really like memeing for high damage. Like, I capped with Aaron's S3 because it was fun, and I was like, oh shit, she has a higher cap, let's do that. But I'm finding I have a really, really hard time hitting her massive damage cap because she's so strong, things die to the first 14 hits. So I can't get to the big hit. So, yeah.
What you can do is, so say an enemy's respawning, you can start her S3, and then by the time that they actually, they're over that immunity period, right?
Yeah.
If you start her S3 as soon as they spawn in, usually that final hit is able to get in, just because you can still do damage while they're dead or whatever, or like they're in their animation. So if you do it that way, you can probably see damage cap.
I've tried a little bit. It just makes it really hard to like have ailments on too, to like bring her damage up further as well.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna keep trying and see how it goes. But I think the highest damage I've got was like 89k or something, which still pretty good. But
so another question is, I know so what do you feel? What are your overall feel about her in arena? Like, do you have to? No, go ahead. That's pretty much my question. What's your overall feel about her in arena?
I think she's a top tier DPS.
Ooh.
Like in every sense of what you want. She's also extremely fun.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of her S2. Like it's fine. Her S2 to me feels just like the intro half of her S3. Like you don't get the dash. Instead, it's just a range thing where you charge in and then you're gonna do a flipping combo attack and do like a little bit of AoE damage, which is what the S3 does, except it's more hits and then ends with a big hit that can apply debuffs and stuff. So
I did want to ask, that blind debuff. Obviously, in arena, you're gonna build her like to hit super hard or whatever. So I'm assuming that the blind debuff on her S3 never sees the light of day in arena.
I mean, it just depends. I mean, if you're charging in and things aren't dying right away, especially in that first like 10 seconds where things are really beefy, maybe you're actually hitting a tank, or there's maybe a Theria that's being protected by Gorm, and for some reason you're not killing her. That S3 could sometimes hit it, and then it could just make it so that when you're spamming S1s, like you get an extra Paranoia proc because blind happens or something. But so like there's a little bit there, but it's not something you pay attention to, or at least I haven't.
Okay.
Like I play her basically like any other physical DPS in arena specifically.
Have you used her in PvE? And I guess my biggest question also in PvE is where does she shine the most, and where does that blind debuff actually come into play? I'm assuming just because now we have like, tons of units that can just nuke bosses and stuff like that. I'm still going to assume that blind debuff doesn't really come into play, but if it did, where do you think it would come into play?
Yeah, so the biggest place it's going to come in, I don't know the specific fight.
Okay. All right.
But I know that I've seen bosses in the past, usually tied to limited time events, that are just like +3 in all resists, right? We've seen that where like you can use a null melt and they're still nil. I don't believe that there are +4 bosses right now. So in those cases, I said before that like to turn on her damage, she needs at least one ailment. So this would mean that if you're against one of those bosses, you could spam S3s until they get that debuff, apply a null melt, and then just have blind research. Don't waste SC on anything else, and then make sure that gets applied, and then boom, you're off to the races.
Huh.
She's not going to have her like extra cap off of stuff, but you're going to have the cap for one ailment. You probably have Exsanguinate on them because no bosses resist Exsanguinate anyway. So you're getting bonus damage from that. You're getting health back off of it. You're just not going to have access to the extra like 8k cap for having 4 more ailments. But her cap's so high anyway, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, so she's usable in that case. The places where I think she's going to struggle is one, that's obviously not an ideal place, but she has an answer to help in that place. If you start getting into like really, really high res stuff, you need to make sure that you're really fighting appropriately if you're gonna like break through that cap. Like you can. I haven't tested her thoroughly to see if she can do like crazy stuff Ache 2 can do, where she can cap through like 90 res against Lambda. I don't know if Maylys can do it. I haven't tested. I haven't had time. I suspect with the right setup she can, but I don't think that you want to take her in against things that are like super duper highly resisting her, you know?
Yeah. Like that creature in the I learned the hard way yesterday. The creature in not the Godforge, but the mat area.
Oh, Visionary?
Visionary, there you go. Can I get that word out? Yeah, so she sucks in that fight. I mean, she was doing like, it was probably like a 10-minute fight with me. I did it solo just to test to see how she did against like high light res, and it was like 30 damage per hit, man. 1,000 damage per hit. It was bad.
Really?
Yeah, it was bad.
I haven't seen it that bad. I've seen her to at least be decent, but if you want her to be like consistently capping, I'd say if you're going to attempt to fight something that's over like 40 or 50 res, you better be building the correct Slayer.
Correct. That's like, accurate.
Don't be lazy. Don't like.
I didn't take any Slayers. It was just I wanted to really test.
Yeah, she can be a decent like generic build, I guess, where you can just go in and do stuff without Slayer swapping if you are specifically making sure to be applying ailments and stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily advise it. Like play around her gimmick. If things have too much late res, maybe use a different like unit. You don't have to have a unit that like fits every single thing.
Right.
But one thing you could do also is like you could just run Trish.
Yeah.
Like
you'll lose stats though, but you could run it.
Yeah, so you can do that, and really the big thing that you lose is her one passive. So you lose 50% physical damage bonus, which sucks. That's the biggest thing. Oh, and 5k cap. So
yeah, I was just about to ask you that. If you used Trishula on her, despite her losing the damage and the cap.
I haven't really much because I haven't found myself in a situation where I felt that she wasn't able to do her damage if I built her correctly. But I also, like I said, I haven't gone in like trying to fight like 80 and 90 res stuff.
Right.
So I think I probably did do one of those limit break fields without properly speccing for it, like DK was talking about, and I wasn't doing great. I was still doing like thousands of damage, but I wasn't doing good enough to just solo carry, and I was with a bunch of potato noobs.
Yeah.
So like
potato noobs.
Things didn't go well.
That
like,
was the only one I had trouble with.
But it took too long.
That was the only one I had trouble with. So I sold all of them yesterday, And that was
Yeah.
the creature was the only one I struggled on without a Slayer. So everything else performed pretty good though.
Wait, so I thought you didn't get her. Do you have an alt account that you got her on, DK?
No, I actually we worked on a video yesterday for her build, and we were doing tons of testing and stuff like that. So we were just kind of
Gotcha.
messing around to see like what, you know, 'cause was it last week? Me and Mobile were going back and forth with, you know, Sheeta builds and what he can out resist and whatnot. So we wanted to like really take her into something highly resistant. So we were just testing all that stuff out, and no Slayers and stuff like that. So that's when I got trapped in that fight yesterday, and it
Yeah,
went horribly.
understandable.
But I still survived. So her survivability is still really good, with all of her HP proccing. Because I mean she has a
Yeah.
lot, and we haven't even probably got to that point yet. But not only does she have great skill recovery, but her HP recovery is absolutely insane as well.
Yeah, as long as you can get exsanguinate on things, which
Yes.
again, having 3 stocks innate is really great for that. So
Right.
like odds feel really high that if you hit 3 of those on a
Hmm.
boss, you're probably going to get exsanguinate on them.
Yeah. You also have our
But
paid
back to the
weapon
one
too.
thing back to the one thing I kind of complained about though is like if you throw a bunch of S3s and only 1 or 2 of them make it to the final hit,
Yeah.
you don't have a chance of getting the exsanguinate on the others if she gets flinched out. So
Right.
it's a little rough there, you know.
Yeah.
So
So realistically, the only way for her to apply that debuff is on her S3, right? Because I mean, who's gonna be spamming her ult?
it
And her pay
it
weapon.
is it is with her S3, except her third negative. Good time to talk about it, which is
Good
she's an
segue.
she's an awesome unit at base.
Yeah.
She's an insane unit with her paid gear.
Yeah, she's crazy.
Her paids are egregiously good.
Mhm.
Like I hate it, and it's amazing still. It
You
is
wanna
up
go over
there
her
with like
page?
it is absolutely up there with like Balin and 2B's paids for like how good.
Mhm.
Especially this one. I got one of them. If
Mhm.
you're only gonna get one paid, this is the one you get. I in my opinion,
Mhm.
this is absolutely the best answer for sure. So you get the light cap, which doesn't matter. She has high cap anyway, but bonus, cool. You're right. You get insanguinate research unlocked.
Ooh,
So you have a means other than S3 and alt to get exsanguinate on things.
you
That
just gotta
that is
pay for
true and valuable.
it.
The things that you get with this, when things have exsanguinate, I don't remember everything, but she has passives that say ignore 15% defense, absorb 5% of all damage dealt as healing.
Mhm.
Insane. Chance to apply illness, which means more paranoia, and then more of her passive to get more damage and more damage cap.
Mhm.
Since illness isn't in her base kit other than through like eco research. So big deal. And then this paid also says chance for physical attacks to give poison. Now, for people that were around back when Logia came out, his branch walkers from his event were pretty insane because they had a chance to blind on physical. That means instead of like research only being auto attacks, all the skills can also apply it. And unlike what's on your base skills, where I said that it was just like a single hit in the combo that applies, this is a per hit effect for all physical effects. So
Ooh.
this specifically is 2% chance on every physical hit to apply poison. That's pretty fucking high if you didn't know.
Yeah, and also if you didn't know, physical is skills and regular attacks, so
Yeah.
even bigger.
And
Yeah, so it's insane.
the yeah, and another reason just to push this one further over the other paid is like poison seems to be like one of the most universally least resisted ailments in the game. Like PvP, nobody gives a fuck.
Nope.
0 people are going to build against poison
Nope.
ever.
Yeah, and
I'm
I had mentioned that, in the previous podcast saying how poison would probably be the most applicable one, just because, like you said, people don't build for poison. And in fact, there's a lot of units that are weak to poison. There are very few that are res, and even very few that are nil. But most of them are neutral, if not weak to poison.
yeah. It's pretty fantastic. So getting that extra one, and like so if you have this, I talked about that. I feel pretty good just using skill charge 1 and not pirate feast in a lot of cases. And I can just throw S1. I might be able to blind things as they're going through a mob, but now I
Mhm.
can also potentially poison things, which is probably good odds since it's not very highly resisted. And then I'm getting more paranoia procs for the next wave. And you're also damage damped for whatever hits of the combo happen that, happen after the poison. So it feels really great. And then the counterpart has the same effect, but for silence. It is only 1.5% chance, which is another reason that this one's here, which is still obscenely high. Like, I'm pretty sure it could have been like a 0.5 or a 1% chance on these paid, and they'd still be super duper good. The fact that it's 1.5 and 2% is just kind of crazy to me. But then the other one also has crit on it. I would say that the other one overall is probably a little more applicable for PvP, just because then it helps out her crit chance more. But PvE as well, just having extra chances to get silence, even though I do find that silence is usually resisted a bit more than a lot of other elements in PvE.
PvP?
In
PvP or
PvE.
PvE?
PvE.
Okay.
I mean, PvP too. Obviously, if you're going in on mages, it's really easy to build +3 to silence. Like, almost all mages are going to have it. But like DPSs aren't. So if you're doing something like spamming your S1s into a crowd, like I said that I do, odds are pretty decent you're going to get like maybe some blind, maybe some silence, because a DPS isn't going to be building against silence. And then your damage is going to be amped on them in addition to backstabs and blah, 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 blah. You're going to be nuking. So in PvP, it's really great. You also get that crit chance. So both of them are really good. I would say I'd rate this a 10 out of 10, and the other paid is probably like a 9 out of 10.
Damn, that's pretty high rating.
It's almost like no one is safe in PvP because you can't resist everything. You know,
you really can't. Yeah, I mean, defense is a lost cause at this point.
Right.
Unless we get an arena overhaul where like they make it be full auto only. Like there's just not much people can really do about it. So, oh, another thing to speak to her survivability that's really nice. I don't know if it's a thing because like lore-wise, her and also Advocate of God Lily are like both advocates to the same god. But for some reason, both of them have that big booty HP. Like, I believe both of them are over 8k innate. I am building no HP at all.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
That's really good for a character that looks really squishy. And Advocate of God Lily's the same way. Like really high base HP. I think she might have the highest among all casters. So yeah, that's just interesting. And I found that was really nice. So she scales up with plus HP if you want to make her extra tanky. So works good. Plus, like, her base mine and defense is pretty okay overall. Like, by the time I get her to 110, she'll be almost 1,000 mine. She's gonna be like 1,200 defense, I think. Probably like closer to 13. Like, these get up pretty high once I get her to Awaken 6, which is gonna be sick.
Damn.
So, impressive. Very impressive. I'm digging it.
I did want to ask, anything in her kit that you find like unique or just like stand out ish?
One thing that I think is super duper cool is one that I very briefly touched on right away. Which is Dazzling Wings is super cool. So I would have to look this up myself, but I believe I heard that this is a 15% chance to nullify physical damage taken, which is, I believe, the most we've ever seen, first of all. Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
15%.
I believe it's normally 10. Yeah. But I saw over on the other podcast, over on Power Creep, I believe that I saw the data mine info, and I believe it was 15%, because also this chance to blind, basically, when you have, I think on every time you do nullify physical damage, you get a 20% chance to blind that enemy.
Wow.
Oh, it's 20%?
Pretty high. So innate, with nothing else, this is basically passive blind research on getting physically hit.
Wow.
So yeah, the math basically comes down to 3% total on every single physical hit you take.
I've noticed that too.
But there's a period here. So there's a chance to nullify physical, and then just in general, if damage is nullified, you have that 20% chance to blind, which means you can use things like Armored Vest. This is another 10% chance. This is another 5% chance for both physical and magic. I don't know if magic works. I assume it does based on how it is worded here. But yeah, so that's something you can do. And then somebody pointed out Geminite. if it does indeed work, Geminite's another thing. It's limited, but hey, for those of you that have it, that could be really, really great. Easier way to apply blind, which is nice.
It's also
And yes.
oh no, I was just gonna say, even though it says on the skill itself, it should be noted that Geminite is only for magic damage.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Um, Now, a thing that I think that is cool that I just think fits with like the flavor and also kind of goes with one of my complaints that I had before is like, yeah, she's really susceptible to flinch. She has a little bit of a harder time necessarily like getting in on an enemy if she needs to auto attack. But her S3 applies that blind debuff. She has these chances to evade. You can build more chances to evade, which then blind, and her S1, which is her most commonly available skill, has that chance to blind as well. If things are blind and you have multiple chances to evade physical attacks, you might just not be getting flinched as much as you normally would. So like she has some tools to kind of get around that if you're being tactical, and it feels cool if you can get in and make those things work.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's a cool little thing. So I like it. It's nice. Um,
Hmm.
so that's really cool. Let me see if there was anything else. Oh, um, yeah, this also, I don't know when this was added, but fucking sick. It's so good.
Oh,
Okay.
passive skills.
No, set only.
Oh,
So it filters out everything that's not equipped.
interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we talked about all the things she has that helps with exsanguinate. Those are cool. Yay. That's pretty much all she has for like crazy stuff. So yeah, Dazzling Wings is definitely the most crazily unique thing.
Gotcha.
I feel.
So get punished for attacking her, basically.
What
Okay.
was that?
We're gonna say DK.
Oh, so you basically get punished for attacking.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. You
It's,
definitely do.
it's
And
gnarly,
again,
man.
that's another one of those passive reasons why she's like surprisingly survivable in arena.
Yeah.
She might just blind people, giving them 50% miss chances.
That's
You
crazy,
know?
man. Yeah, no. Fuck.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
get
good.
super
It's
annoyed,
pretty
like,
good.
yeah, I got you, and then just boom, blind.
Yeah. In addition to you're like nullifying 50% of their crits in general. You could stack royal armor for like an extra
Oh
chances
my,
to nullify their
man.
crits. Like there's a lot you can be doing there. So
It's
she's
very
um,
she's super
unique.
cool.
I
Yeah.
wanted to ask. So I know her whole focus is just about is applying ailments and then capitalizing on ailments, but not only ailments but also that debuff exsanguinate. Do you think, like, let's say if she just wasn't able to apply debuffs at all, would that make or break her?
As in like if you could not apply an ailment.
Yeah, like, okay, so in the scenario of like you just couldn't, and then also like if you look at her kit as it is now and just
Yeah.
get rid of everything that's focused on ailments, would that like just completely throw her, into the bin, or what do you
So
think?
you're saying like in a hypothetical situation where we ditch all terror melt skills in her kit, we say this passive that gives her plus damage for the ailments that are applied, like we get rid
Yeah,
of all that stuff and just have her be a base unit with what she has.
right.
Yeah, she would be really, really heavily neutered.
Okay.
Because like I said, if I don't have an ailment on things, I feel like I can't get over 10k in most fights, like end game fights.
Right,
Hmm.
right.
It just doesn't feel super doable. Maybe if you're doing things like nuking elemental res, classic stuff that you would do. But most units these days, you can build them with enough damage that if things have like 0 to 30 res to your element, and you're using like, I mean, if you're using slayers and stuff, like you could still do decent. But right now, like I think she has like 21k cap, 23k maybe. I don't remember off the top of my head. Like if there's 0 debuffs.
Yeah.
So, or ailments, debuff or ailment, exsanguinate or ailments. So we use the right words here. Um, but yeah, so like, but those things would be replaced with something else.
Right,
So, and I would say when it comes to like an end game boss fight, if you're trying to apply it and you just can't get it to apply, she's not gonna feel great.
right.
But that's why if you're having trouble in a fight with applying it, you build another unit to help ensure that it's definitely going to happen, and that's not hard to do. Like I don't know if there's a single fight in the game where like you can't make an ailment support that's going to help you to reliably put ailments on an enemy. You know, like there's a lot of budget friendly units that can be used in this slot. DXR, the robot that everybody has access to,
Robo waifu.
that can be her co-op partner. Like they can tag team and he can enable her like super well. That's a thing you can do without too much trouble at all. Now it's worth noting that like if you're going to have an ailment support, obviously that's going to cut down on her paranoia procs.
Right.
But in general, I don't think that's really a big deal when you're just looking to like turn on and make sure that she's doing the damage, you know? So, and especially for people that have like honey elixir and stuff, you can still just use all that stuff too. Which, oh, I guess people would care about Goddess Kiss procs because people ask about that stuff. I said that in general, for applying ailments, her autos aren't that great, but the damage scaling on them, that's a different story. They're really, really great. She has a really low MP pool, which I usually like, just because then it doesn't take much to fill it. But almost always when I try to go for a Goddess Kiss proc, I'm hitting like 400 plus.
Really?
Really good. I even had it. I was testing to just see. Oh, hey, I'm gonna meme for that damage to go like apply some ailments before I do my S3 in arena. So I'll just go do some auto attacks while this enemy CC'd. I'm pretty safe. I go do auto attacks and nuke them with my auto attacks. And I'm like, excuse me though? you just dead? You're just gone now. Okay, that just happened. So her auto attacks have pretty solid scaling. You know, like you're not going to use it as a main form of DPS because like the animation's not insane. But when you need Goddess Kiss procs, like it's definitely damn effective. It's really, really good.
So, I did. Okay, so Lax is in, on my stream. He said that he made the analogy of let me see, Melee without debuffs feels like Zlorg without fairy convulsion.
Totally on point. They each have their gimmick. You need to play to the gimmick. If you don't, you're going to be a little sad and feel like, why did I even build this stupid unit?
Damn, that's a...
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. I see that.
Yeah. I don't think it's as bad. Like, Zlorg is basically useless if he's not playing his gimmick. She's still good. Like, I said that I have trouble getting over, like, 10k if I'm not, like, swapping Slayers and stuff like that. She has a good crit package, though, for free. So, like, usually when I'm only hitting, like, 7 to 9k, my crits are still capping at, like, 23k.
Really? What?
So, like, she's still hitting hard in PvE. It's just, like, I'm not going to build for max crit chance and stuff unless I'm running, Icy Guardian or Heaven Starlord to, like, maximize damage or whatever. So, but, yeah, like, she can still do okay. She's going to be miles better than Zlorg still. Like, she has Paranoia. She's got other things going on, So, like, she's still going to feel miles better than Zlorg. But as soon as you flip on that damage switch, she does go from being, like, a good unit to being, like, holy shit, what is this damage? It's really good. I saw Lax trying to, like, actually just go for high damage, and I actually saw him hitting for over 60k.
Of course.
Over 60k. Which, if you didn't know... Ardene's the best for fighting dragons because he can auto cap 60k and she can beat that if you have like a perfect setup.
That's crazy.
So like, hot damn, dog. That's a lot of damage.
I think maybe one of the questions that's going to be asked a lot is especially maybe for new players or maybe just players in general, they're probably going to ask, hey, should I pull for her when we have, the White Day banner? So I don't know if you want to give your thoughts on that.
Sure, totally. This is the painful thing. So I feel like we probably talked about the White Day a little bit last week.
Yeah, I think we did.
Because I've been in Discord a lot over the last week and I'm like trying to help out players because that's a big question that's come up. And I can't, in my right mind, recommend anybody pull for Melee as good as she is. Because at the end of the day, it's an RNG chance. And Adis has set this precedent now that we know we're going to have 30k pity banners to look forward to.
Right.
The White Day banner is filled with high-end value. So, like, why spend 30k and probably get nothing going after Melee when you could spend 30k probably get multiple male units that are really good in the meta. Or worst case, if you get totally shafted somehow and get nothing good, you know for sure you get a top tier best in slot unit at the end of it. You can get Luxeus, you can get Maja, best physical DPS, best magic DPS in the general sense.
Right.
Ardeen, one of, if not arguably, the best neutral DPS at this point. Like, there's a lot of good options. Sheeta, like one of the most utilitarian classes in the game, like can really, really fill out that slot if you just really need to be able to do stuff. So if you're free to play, especially, or like a light spender, like be patient. Like power creep has been pretty good. Like over the last year or so, I think power creep has been really good. Like Maylys is going to be good a year from now. She's probably going to be good 2 years from now. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine a world where she's not going to be good. 6 months from now, she's going to be on a pity banner for
Yep,
30K.
that's correct.
Like, just wait. Just hang out. Chill.
Mhm.
We get like, I think somebody did the math, and we get like 12K crystals a month for free. Pretty reliably, without like any crazy events giving us even more.
I did want to say that if if maybe you're not a new player and you're just, a player that's thinking about pulling for her. Not only do you have to take into consideration the possibility of getting something from the White Day banner, but also we're getting anniversary soon. So there's no reason to rush into pulling, because there's reasons to not pull, but I don't think there's a reason to pull for her with what's going on or what's going to come. So
Yeah.
that's another thing to keep in mind.
Now, another thing I will say, I've heard a lot of people be like, hey guys, she's bait. We have the Annie coming up. The anniversary unit's going to be crazy. And to those people, I say, why? Why do you think that?
Yeah.
Like, we don't have a history of anniversary units being broken. Like
No.
good, very like interesting or surprising maybe, but like there's no history to indicate that that's the case. I would be willing to like put money down that Melee is almost certainly a far better unit than whatever we get at anniversary. Like I'm pretty confident in that. I bet it's going to be a great unit. I bet Melee's better.
Her and the 30K banner. I wasn't anticipating a 30K banner when we know that the anniversary is right around the corner. So even that 30K is an amazing deal. It's almost like something they would have on anniversary. So anything, it's like a pre-anniversary pull.
Yeah, I thought that maybe we would get like the DOH pity,
right?
Which happened like 1 or 2 updates after anniversary last year. That's the first time we saw 30K pity, and we were like, "Holy fuck, guys,
Right.
what's happening?" we're getting value banners. Like
Yeah.
Adis is doing it. They're making a thing free to play friendly. But yeah. So what I'm really hoping is that this Valentine's and White Day combo is just a yearly staple people can look forward to. Like, hey, if you're patient, save your stuff. Come this time next year, just wait till spring or whatever, and we will get these banners, and you can pity your male or female unit you need for your account. Just be smart and save till then, and you can guarantee the crap that you need, which I think is great for free to play. It sucks for people that maybe got a little screwed on it. Like I know
Ardeen.
Ardeen specifically is a thing. Like if people paid for Ardeen, or if like free to play actually spent 90K to pity.
Right? I didn't
Oh
think about that.
God.
I did not even think about
And
that.
then he was pitiable for 30K 2 months
That's
later.
crazy.
That sucks. Now, from what I've heard, Barlene was confused by this. I think somebody that coded fucked it up. Because I could have sworn in one of the announcements that talked about the White Day banner, they specifically said units up to Shift Lancevale. So I don't think Ardeen was supposed to be in there, and something got screwed up.
Right.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling when this comes up next year, it probably will have a proper time slot of things, and we won't see anything that's like less than 6 months old, probably. But if that is the case, and I'm right, I still think power creep is in a good enough place that that's fine.
Right.
Like units that are 6 months old, even a year old,
Yeah.
sometimes more, if that's like kind of keeps this sort of plateau and like steady sort of side creep going. Like things are still going to be relevant, so waiting that long is totally fine. So free to play, just focus on these 30K banners, and also if you're missing arcs, the 15K arc banner, so you can ensure like Sandworm, because yeah, it's a good thing for sure.
Yeah, so on the topic of waiting for the 30K banner, and just so the game at Last Cloudia as a whole is a marathon. There's really no reason to rush
Yep.
and be like, hey, I need this unit, I need this unit, I need this unit. When in reality, in PvE, well, if you're like doing multiplayer, you use one unit. Well, not maybe one, but like if you have units, you can switch around. But realistically, you're using one unit.
Yeah.
And
Early on,
then early on, at least, you're using one
yeah.
unit. There's certain fights, obviously, that have you use more than one unit. But what I'm trying to get at is that there really is no reason to rush, especially if you're free to play. These 30k banners, if you want to be free to play, this is exactly what you're going to wait for. Like for instance, Maylys, she's out. Okay, she'll be on the 30k banner, maybe far in the future, or maybe not too far in the future, but she's going to be on that 30k banner. So there's really no rush to try to get her because the game is a marathon. Okay, you pull for her, you happen to get her. What are you going to do with her? Use her as a DPS that you already have. Maybe she's has a higher cap. Okay, cool. She does some neat things. Okay, cool. But I don't think there is a need to pull if that unit doesn't like necessarily skyrocket your account. So there's no harm in waiting is what I'm trying to
Totally.
get at.
So on the other side, one thing that I could say is like if you're starting a fresh account
Okay.
and you're a fan of like, gotcha hell and you want to reroll, she's an awesome reroll target. She's a superb reroll
Yeah,
target.
definitely.
Because we usually the things that people recommend in the infinite reroll is like Sandworm and Trish, she needs neither.
Yes.
So like if you happen to like just want to go in and just grab like an SSR or two and just like not be hyper picky and then reroll for Maylys, like you're probably going to be looking pretty solid. Because like at base she's really good. The only thing she's really going to be missing, I feel like, on a fresh account is sustain. So if you can snag something like Icy Guardian for Proud Force early on, it would be helpful because Proud Force is really good for sustain since she actually has some of a crit package. So that's about the only thing that you'd be lacking on a brand new account, or you just have some crappy support that with some healing magic to help you out until you can get her built up better.
Yeah.
So
on that note as well, since Zero is talking, I forgot about the reroll. Since Zero is talking about rerolling, actually, if you are looking to reroll, possibly maybe a second account, this is absolutely one of the best times because not only can you secure Sandworm or Caldina, but and every other general pull unit, but you can also get, let's say you get Maylys first try on that banner, and that's your end goal. You still have that 30k banner to grab another like 3 to 1, 2 to 3, even 4 top tier DOH units out of that, and then boom, save for Annie.
Yeah,
that is an absolute must if you're going to be rerolling.
Totally. Yeah, if you were a power gamer and you reroll to get Maylys, you use her, you grind through campaign to get 30k, you go straight to the white banner, go get like Maja or Sheeta.
Maja, yep. It's
absolutely
I would say
insane. Maja is the late game smart play for sure.
Yeah.
But I would say that if you care more about fun over just meta, I would actually say Sheeta. He's actually a really good support for her, I found.
Awesome.
He gets venomous rainfall innate. You can give him something like Venicleave so that he can benefit from the poison as well for ailments. He's got auto advanced magic circle, fast recast, like all sorts of things you really want. Black hole so that you can group things. Giga Weak to make things weak when things are resisting her light. Yeah, he offers quite a bit of stuff. That cast speed so that you can spam things like Lightning Gauge to apply stun with Thunderstone Arc after things are grouped. He can really enable her really well. So like if you want to just have a dedicated support and you maybe haven't gotten Tink or Lena or something and you happen to have Sheeta, he's super good. So
I think we talked enough about Maylys. Do you want to move on to the arc?
Yeah, sure.
Don't chase it.
About the arc.
That's it. Just don't chase it. Whatever you guys do, please.
Yeah. So chasing URs in this game is not a thing you should do. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't ever.
It's asking for pain.
Yeah.
It is. You don't need them, but they can be great. When I initially saw this, I was super excited. It was like my favorite UR, even though I really love Gwar, how it changes the game.
Right.
this is still, I think, my favorite UR in the game because it just does so much, and I love it. We already know what it does because we talked about it last week, but in general, this damage boost is really, really huge. Sometimes when we see these cap increases on stuff, it doesn't always come with much of a damage boost to go with it.
Mm.
And the fact this gives a 40% with like not a huge condition at all is really great. Because getting 100 hits or more is not huge, and this is a gradual scale too. So like you just get value as you're doing damage, which is awesome. And then the damage cap plus 4K, like the thing about getting this UR that's really sick is it lets you not only put a 4K cap on any unit in the game, it lets you put a 6K cap because it gives you access to Terror Melt. Terror Melt 3. So like when we're talking about especially old units that like maybe only have like 13K cap innate, and then you can get them up over like 20 with some support, adding 6K to it is pretty obscene. And 6K also looks really, really nice on pretty much every other unit. Even when we're talking about like 25, 30K caps, adding 6K is still a lot of fucking damage.
Seriously.
Like, it's really good.
Super universal
and not only
art,
that,
man.
like it's adding an extra way for you to hit that damage cap too. Like Terror Melt is already a really good way if you're not hitting damage cap to get up there. You just play the ailment gimmick and you do it. And importantly, obviously, we talked about Maylys wants to be doing that. So I think it's fair to say this is one of the first times that like an arc came out with a unit where like this is basically her best in slot arc. I would say, in general, like if you get this and you have her, you'll probably just use this on her.
Yeah.
In like that is what it is. So yeah, this passive is really great.
People were saying that the picture, and I didn't even think about it, but they were saying that that is Maylys there. Like, and I didn't even catch it, or I don't know like how accurate that was, but
so I assume there's a lore thing behind it, but I don't read. So to me, the picture this arc paints for me is an alternate form of Maylys where she's like transformed into like her like darkness evil mode or something, and this is like the nightmare form of her, which is why it's called Maylys Mare.
So
To further emphasize that, Maylys is a light type. The skill damage is a dark.
Yeah, it is.
So that's really interesting, which is rough for her because it means you don't get like her light boosts for like raising the damage cap on it or anything. But you're really not using this for damage anyway specifically. But I did find, considering it is dark, which is nice, when I pop this on Sheeta, he very, very easily caps for over 20K on it, which is cool.
Wow, nice.
So that's pretty cool. I like it. But this arc skill is really valuable when you're already playing the Terror Melt stuff. Because like you can instant speed a Null Melt to drop all their reses, and then you automatically get blind with a chance at these other ones. When you have Paranoia on your unit, I already talked about when you can apply one ailment to multiple, you get stuff. This almost just acts like instant speed Honey Elixir and gives you all your skills back if you're going against a mob. Like you use a Null Melt, which is in her kit innate, and then you pop this. And then also it applies these ailments before damage, so Terror Melt gets all the damage of all the hits to amp up the damage, which is cool. Which again, you don't care much about the damage, but still, it's just nice that it works cleanly like that. And then if your unit is Paranoia, great, you probably have a whole bunch of skill stocks, which is awesome.
I think the biggest thing that this arc is so good, if you want to look at the skills, or click on the skills, and then look at Dog Eat Dog. My boy Gobble finally is an icon in the game. Look at this man.
I'll give you Gobble's feature is the only good part of this skill that I like.
Hell yeah.
So I tried really hard to give this redemption. I kind of talked some shit about it because I was like, hey, I bet it'll be poorly priced, but it should be 3 or 4 SC. I think 3 is appropriate because it's conditional and like super conditional. It's not only limited to skills, but also limited to non-boss. And they put it up at 5, which I'm like, hey, if it goes up to 5, it's bad. Like that's a filler skill. And I tried to give it the benefit of the doubt, and I was like, okay, if I'm trying to think critically, why would I point this at 5SC? And the only thing I could think of is maybe it sits outside the damage calculation of other things. So, for instance, if a unit has, like Maylys, she has sword high boost, sword mega boost. Well, if you add regular sword boost, that 10%, like in the damage calculation, it falls into a same category as other stuff. So it's going to be additive with those things in like the multiplication process. Because dog eat dog is skill damage, I'm like, well, maybe that could just sit in sort of a different category, kind of like weak point boost and berserker, which just seem to do like more damage than other 30% boosts. So like maybe that 10% translates to more than something like a basic sword boost. But I tried to go in and do some damage tests, like toggling between like sword boost and dog eat dog. I couldn't notice a goddamn difference at all. So I was like, all right, well, it was only like 5-10 minutes of testing, but I was like, fuck this skill. So
hey, I can't have you disrespecting my skill like that.
yeah. Hey, I said, hey, the icon is the best part of the skill.
Okay, I'll give you that.
It's a filler though. So like if you have a complete like glass cannon build in arena for your DPS unit, which you can do these days because allure tanks exist.
Yep.
Like you could just go all out damage, and if you happen to have room and you have literally nothing else but like strength ups to put on your unit for 5SC, then cool. Put this on for an extra 10%. But like this is not a priority at all. It's not very SC efficient. If somebody has found something contrary to that point, please let me know.
No, yeah, I agree. I'm all for it. I'm all for the skill just because gobble. But in reality, I agree with what you're saying. If I would use this as like a last, like for instance, besties from the slime collab that we just had. It does same SC, but 15% damage as opposed to 10.
That's a good rate. That's a pretty good rate.
Yeah.
I'm down for
But
that.
so yeah, I agree with what you're saying. This is one of those skills where it's like, okay, I have spare SC. What else can I add? And I find myself in that situation where I'm like, okay, I have some. I'll go ahead and put on dog eat dog just for a little bit more damage, just because I have the spare SC.
Yeah,
it's better than putting on like something towards like a STR, like attack 3 or 4.
Yeah, just filler skills. Yeah.
Now to bring it back around to the opposite side of things, let's take a look at Terra Melt 3 and what they decided to cost it.
Oh, I love this.
Ooh.
So we talked about, okay, it could be like 10 to 12 would be good. They could price it as high as 15 and people would probably still run it anyway, even though like that's a little bit much.
Right.
Putting it at 11 is pretty great, I think. So what this tells us, assuming they want to have any amount of consistency, which history has not shown, but we're here. It tells us that in theory they value 2k damage cap at 5SC, because this is Terra Melt 2 with 2k cap, and Terra Melt 2 is 6. So 5SC for 2k cap. So that would mean that if we got something like Ice Attack Raise 3, that would presumably be 20 SC.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree. I agree. I was about to say something, but then I was like, no way, he's got a point. He's got a point.
Yeah. Do you think they would actually do that knowing, oh man, that's crazy. That's a lot.
Well, at that point, I'd be curious to see if we ever get any sort of skill that's something like damage ceiling up.
Right.
And we could just see something that's like 5SC plus 2k damage cap.
Right. The
like,
community has responded pretty well to Terra Melt 3. Like everybody's
cool
very excited. Yeah. I've talked to quite a bit of people about Terra Melt 3, and like the first thing they said was, oh my god, it's only 11 SC. So hopefully they see that and they're like, you know what, guys, let's make these guys happy. Let's keep everything like between 11 and 15. We don't want to see 20, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, but what Zero was saying about the elemental one being 20, I can understand that because the elemental attack raise 2 are 15 SC.
No, I know, but that was like what's it, year 1 when they I guess they really didn't think about that.
No, they've released other ones since then, and that's just the standard what they're charging for.
Yeah, it's just 15 SC. So I can definitely see being if you were to be able to teach attack raise 3, it would definitely be 20 SC.
They probably will never even release those then at that point.
But then but then if we look at some other ones like say Mega Drive, that would be more like 17.
30% 2K cap, 17 SC. I don't know, man. That's rough.
Well, no, I'm saying if we use this logic of roughly 5
No,
SC
yeah,
for
that's
the
what I'm
thing,
saying. Yeah,
because high drive is 12.
right.
High drive's 11.
11. Yeah.
Oh, it's 11. Okay, then
Yeah.
then gotcha. Okay, then it would be 16.
That's not too bad. I guess that's not bad.
Presumably, right? Assume
Yeah,
this is all just
exactly.
speculation.
Yeah.
We are speculating.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. But either way, not too bad.
Not bad. I would do 16 SC for 30% in 2K. I would.
Oh, totally. For
Yeah.
like physical damage and
Absolutely.
special damage.
There's always that extra 16 in there that you could use, especially if a kit's like so well thought out. Like, Maylys is a pretty well thought out kit. So,
Well, and I know that like we laugh at how expensive like Elemental Raise 2 is at 15, but like the problem is it has a niche crowd, but for like the crowd that wants it, it's really well costed.
Right.
Because if you went to get 30% bonus damage to magic, physical, and alt, it's going to cost you more than 15. But almost no units hybrid that hard. That's the problem. So like nobody's going to spend that.
Yeah.
I've used like Fire Attack Raise 2 on my Eliza for her hybrid build. Don't regret it at all. But that's for a very, very niche build. So
right. And honestly, if that's what you have and that's what you're working with, then yeah, hell yeah, do it.
Yeah.
You need that extra percentage boost.
Yep. So yeah, there's that. Oh, her ether reward. There's also nothing really new here, but this is just a great ether reward. That's all there is to it. Cool.
Yeah, I got it immediately. It was
So did I.
becoming one of my favorites. Like especially
honestly, I was like, will I use this right away?
Oh yeah,
maybe.
Oh yeah.
More importantly, I really want to learn Terramel 3 on a bunch of units, so I want that times 18. Thank you.
Terramel 3 is like it's gonna be so much fun as a universal skill. Actually, the Arc 2 is universal. I threw this on Levi the other day just for fun. I had and whatnot, and man, it's fun to see those numbers, especially on Levi.
A funny thing is like another thing that I see commonly in Discord, and like I've talked about myself as well, is like, hey, we're still waiting on like the ice and the earth URs to come into the game. At this point, if they ever came in, I'd be like, why would I possibly care about that arc unless it does something crazy? Because Melee Mare gives me more damage.
Exactly.
That's a very good point.
You could run Terramel, Terramel 2, Terramel 3. I mean, it's pretty nice.
If I'm looking to maximize my damage, I'm not going to take a 3K cap to Earth when I can get 6K running to Terramel.
Seriously.
Well, like I could see the argument where people say, well, at least it's not conditional, because I mean you have to apply, an ailment, right? It's sort of conditional, but yes, it is more damage because the 4K cap and then Terramel 3.
But when you're talking like end game solo fights, it's not a conditional. It's very easy to like meet these conditions, especially when the arc skill can do it at battle like 0-second battle start.
I actually took Melee into the final fight with Luxius, and I got to the very end and died. But she actually held. I know it was with kind of a poop build, so if I were to actually pay attention to what I'm doing as far as that fight, she could solo it. It's pretty nuts.
Awesome. I'm gonna assume you guys are like following along in chat because since I'm talking
a lot, me and Jar are actively in there.
We're keeping up.
Just making sure. But yeah, so pretty great. I love it.
Congrats, Zero. You blew us both away.
Beyond lucky. I was like, what the
if you guys didn't watch Zero's videos on his pull, he got her on the first lap. So he got 3 reds on his first.
Yeah, the second pull of it was 3 SSRs, and one of them was her.
Oh my
Conveniently enough, Logia was number 1, and then led into her.
Of course.
Kidding. I'll take it.
And then pulls a UR on a YOLO pull throughout the week.
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't just a YOLO pull.
Oh, wasn't it?
It was better than that.
Oh.
It was I decided to pull the trigger on my paid.
Oh, that's right.
My 110 pull to get Dexter had the UR in it.
What?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
Hashtag never punished.
Yeah, I might do one more pull for her. I don't know. I might just save up for like the next pity, but I did secure both weapons because I couldn't pass them up. I really couldn't.
Yeah. Like I said with talking about like free to play and all that and saving up for these pity banners, my plan was after the step up, which I didn't expect to get her. I plan on after initial step up, I would do no more pulls and I would just save and sit on 30k for when she comes to the next pity. That
Right.
was my plan.
That is-
Ignore all other banners because I really wanted her and I wasn't going to just keep throwing into the ether like I always have.
Right.
Because I know I can reliably wait on it now. I can wait and like maybe 6 months down the line, whenever we happen to get a DOH pity banner, or if it's all the way until Valentine's Day next year,
Yeah.
I'll get enough gems to like roll in between then and still sit on 30k. And I was going to pity her because I just really wanted her.
Yeah, she's gonna be highly valuable and pretty much over a year for a good while. It really is.
Yep. Totally.
So I know you covered Melee and then we covered her UR arc, but I don't know if you guys have any of the Dr. Stone units and want to maybe give some light on their buffs.
Yeah.
Or if you've even used them with their new buffs.
I have. Kwaku OP.
Yeah, if you want to talk about Kuhaku, go ahead. I've raised her level, but I haven't unlocked all her stuff to do testing. But I've heard she's extremely good. So
Go ahead,
I'll let
DK.
you go ahead and talk on that. Though.
Let me open up my game real quick. I have, like I said, we were doing a video for Maylys yesterday, so I had my account removed from my Steam account. So the only way I can play my account right now is through my phone. But yeah, so she man, she definitely met my expectations. She got an amazing buff on her damage cap, and she just got a raw 7,000. Is it 8 or 7,000? I can't remember. When you E5 her.
So while he's pulling up her, real quick, there's not really much to say about Tsukasa. I know you don't have Tsukasa, Zero, and I just don't have my Steam pulled up. But I just wanted to say that I did E5 Tsukasa and I got his skills unlocked and I took him in arena. And so, long story short, his S3 hits like a damn nuke.
So nasty.
Like it's extremely strong.
Yeah.
But that may be the case, but the bad thing is once he uses all of his S3s, he's pretty much useless because his S1 and S2 are melee range. He has to be up on into the fray, and most of the time he ends up dying, even though he does have Spear High Boost and Spear Mega Boost for that physical damage reduction, and he's also immune to Slayer damage. But the thing is, again, his S3 is pretty much his bread and butter. If built right, like I was going up against a Gorm, and I think there happened to be a Theria behind the Gorm, and I think maybe the Gorm just wasn't built properly, which was probably the case.
Yeah.
But I used Tsukasa's S3, and he just completely nuked Gorm and Theria. It was like the most hilarious thing to watch. I was like, what in the world? What just happened? But yeah, long story short, he's really good just for the sake of his S3. But once he uses his S3, he's pretty much useless.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is Tsukasa is now Roy at home.
He's like that. Yeah. He's like that intense. He's an intense last resort. The S3 just nukes, but then from there, you're just staring at that little circle filling up again. It's not gonna happen. And he's pretty slow on the field too, so he just doesn't move very well. So that's like one of his biggest problems. But it is 100% gratifying to see that S3 blow everybody up the first like couple seconds, depending on the.
Like, it's pretty silly too, right? Like, doesn't he basically throw his spear, but then it turns into a tactical nuke?
Yeah, and then he's got Human Slayer, so it's disgusting.
And he has Human Slayer.
It's disgusting.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing using him. Yeah, his S3 it's quick. It's not instant like X-Bets. And but it's faster than Roy's S3 because Roy's S3, has that projectile that has to travel and then hit. Tsukasa's is like pretty quick, and when it hits, it's not a hit and then explosion. It's a explosion hit. So it's pretty cool. It's really strong. But yeah, that's all I have to say on Tsukasa. I haven't tried him on defense, but I imagine he can be pretty tanky just because, again, Spear Mega and then Spear High Boost, giving the 30% damage reduction in physical damage taken. And he's also immune to Slayer damage. It says the wording on his trait, it says that he's just immune to Slayer damage. It doesn't say he's immune to Soldier, Killer, and Slayer damage. So even if you happen to have, like, let's say, Beast Mimicry on him, and someone has Brute Slayer and is hitting Tsukasa, just by the trait itself, it makes me think that he's just immune to every single Slayer. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So I haven't tried him on defense, but I imagine he'd be really great.
Yeah, looking at his kit, he looks like he's gonna be really good. And I honestly was like the first thing when I saw his kit in the rework, I instantly thought of you, man. I was like, this dude is gonna make this guy into a nasty ass tank. And I just S3, remember the S3, even before the E5, I was taking him into arena during the second rerun, and he was nuking everybody on the front line. So I was, yeah, it's a little terrifying to be on the other side of him. One guy's asking if we can test her. Unfortunately, Zero does not have her on him on his account. So yeah, we won't be able to test them on screen.
I think they were talking about Kohaku.
Oh, Kohaku. Okay.
Well, I mean,
her. Duh. I don't know why I thought.
I mean, I can. Do you want to talk about Kohaku?
Yeah. So Kohaku, man. So ideally, if you were not able to get Levi and somehow you managed to, you've been playing since the days of Dr. Stone, she is a great substitute. Probably one of the best reworks in the game on physical damage. She got a flat on her E5, 10,000 cap added to her Untamed Intuition. She's just so solid. Basically, very little is needed to make her cap. Even without Slayers, I was hitting between 32 and 34k per hit, and it's beautiful to see her just kind of flipping all over the map. Her S1, she zooms. It's
fun. It was fun on her launch. It's still fun today.
It's even more fun now. Right now, I currently have her at 94 SC, so I put quite a stuff into her. If you had her paid equipment, that works really well. She does, I think, benefit from 2 swords, or I think so. No, I think she can use multiple weapons. I've only done minimal testing, but there was a couple hours where I did, get to try her out. But I did find myself using her daily now versus I kind of had her in the backseat for quite some time. She did get also a 3,000 cap on her S2, 30,000 cap on her S4. So it's been an absolute blast to actually bring her back out again. And we had some guys test her out in arena. I think, Jalen, didn't you test her out in arena?
Oh man, dude, she is a monster in arena.
I think
now.
I remember your video. It's because of her S1. It fills so quickly, and I believe on kill she does recover SC. So it's insane. Oh man, I don't know. Can she dodge Roy's S3 too?
What's a Roy S3? Come on now.
Absolutely, she will not get touched by Roy in the first second.
So.
There's no way.
So her S3 is really fun.
Yeah.
But it's also like I to this day, in terms of like instant skills or just warping, her S1 to this day, in my opinion, is still the best as teleport or warp or however you want to call it. Like the most instant skill. And to this day, I still think her S1 is the epitome of that warp teleport thing. And not only does it hit incredibly fast, but once she uses her S1, she then goes behind the enemy, but during that animation where she goes behind them, she also procs backstab and surprise attack. So not only is she like on that unit with like half a second, but she also is getting the 80% damage boost from surprise attack and backstab. It hits incredibly hard. And as it happens in arena, a lot of units are weak to earth, so she can easily clap. I've had her clap Rutos through his trait. Probably they weren't running determination, but she has like completely nuked Rutos. She's nuked Mikasas, and she doesn't nuke Gorm just because he's tanky. But those two, she completely nukes them.
Yeah,
love it.
What's another thing? Also, her S1 doesn't need it's instant anywhere. There's no line of sight. There's no requirements for it to move. It's just you press the button and whatever enemy she's locked onto, it's happening. And if you were to to kill that one, if you had someone on the top right hand side, she zooms to. It is so satisfying to see your S1 go back and forth. And like Jawline said, you're proccing the backstab and surprise attack, so it's additional damage. I think it's up to 80%. Additional damage from behind. And then her S3 is beautiful. S2 is still it's okay. S2 is okay still. But it's mostly her S, because you can press S2 and miss completely. Where S1 it's guaranteed hit. S3 it's pretty much the entire screen getting hit too as well. There's a lot of AoE involved. So yeah, I mean she was great then, and 2 years later she's great again. So I love what they did to her. I kind of really hope that they continue doing stuff like this, because it makes you want to play with older units, and that's exactly what happened.
I did want to say that her S2, even though it's not like the best skill that she has, it's good because it's just like Roy's S2. It's just like XBet's S2, where like let's say you're being forced target by a Ruto, you can run up to another enemy, use her S2, because her S2 is just around her. It's not like she has to be near the enemy to use it. She just does it around her. So it's really great in that sense, that if you are being force targeted, you don't have to. You can just bypass that.
100%.
But yeah, I used her for a while, but then I paired her with Senku, and because of his trait the trait buff that he got now gives a 30% damage to fire, earth, thunder, and ice elements. So Kohaku was hitting extremely hard.
And then now that we got the UR and Terramel 3, I actually did that with V. It was pretty awesome. It was a lot of fun. He hit so hard, man, and with little help too.
Is there anything you guys want her to fight?
Probably just something probably like a level based on the story.
Something with some mobs.
Some big mobs.
I don't have everything taught to her, but I'm pretty sure she's probably just kind of fine. I don't think Sky High works on her, right? Innately.
Do they lift? I think they lift a little bit.
Her S1 lifts, yeah, a little bit. Enough to proc Sky High.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
But she was my favorite unit when she came out, and then she got replaced by XBet. But now I use her more. And I've used her again, and I've been reminded why she was my favorite unit when she came out. She's just extremely fun to use.
Yeah. And while he's talking about that, because I know Chrome has got a little rework too, but Chrome has become one of the best farmers for me. I've been using him in absolute. I think I was doing testing in the Visionaries and stuff like that, and I was pulling anywhere between 24 to 26 chests a game on solo. So yeah, Chrome got a nasty little
yeah, rework. Chrome is now the GOAT farmer.
Yeah, he really is.
MTR was Master Thief Robin was cool, but now if you happen to have Chrome, he is the best farmer you could possibly use.
He's got that little mini Beast Hunter effect. Now he actually gets drop space on kill, and then you can add, if you have his paid weapon, that's an additional drop on kill, and then I think you can run Thief's Bangle, and then just put on 3,700 years, and boom, you're set. So the only problem with that is that he didn't get a damage cap in Science Magic, just a damage cap in Fire and Thunder. So that's the only biggest problem, is that I'm only hitting around 10 to 11k depending on what I'm running on him.
Man, you ain't using him for damage. Come on.
I know, but so
he'd be okay though.
Yeah, he's still okay. Yeah, I just kind of wish it was a universal Science Magic damage cap just for a little help, but he's still very good.
It should be noted that he DK mentioned running 3,700 and then running Thief's Bangle and his paid. But if you want to, farm IGC3, which is probably what people do nowadays, you would use high-level magic chant and then fast recast, and then more often than not the cultist pendant, just so that he can insta-cast. And then you either run his paid, or if you don't have his paid, then you run Thief's Bangle, because aren't they the same percentage? Isn't like a 10%
something like
on
that.
Kill?
There's also the Sulfurina arc.
Yes.
I believe it is. Double check this real quick. Um,
Why am I blind? I'm so blind.
is that the right arc? Oh no, that's the wrong arc. Yeah, I guess high magic chant. That's what I'm running to. I had to teach it to him. I didn't know he didn't have that. I thought that was pretty interesting.
All right. Well, I don't really know what's on this stage, so it might really suck. But I'll just try. And I don't even have like her taught all the stuff I'd want her to.
Oh
be
no.
Taught,
A scuffed Kohaku.
Don't let me down, Zero.
Don't let me down.
Super resist Earth too. All right, let's see how bad is this. Oh god, 50%.
Nice, amazing. There you go. Do it on the bat.
How about the bat?
Oh god.
Well, it's okay. I guess not great though. I mean, these are god things anyway.
This is also Zero's Kohaku. Okay, don't let this be the final representation.
But also, worth noting, she has this passive where every physical damage hit has a small chance to give you like a little bit of SET. So like she didn't have this S2 until I auto attacked enough, and then she got it.
Yeah. Oh, Light of Science. That one has casting time of science spells is reduced.
Yeah. If I just had Trish, it would probably be a little bit better on here, but also just like a proper build.
You know, one thing that I found with Kohaku and using her in arena, I've found for whatever reason that I've thought to myself, I'm like, man, I have all this SC save, or all this SC left to use. What else do I put on her? Because I feel like I put all the damage boost that you would give on a physical DPS, but then at the same time, it's like I still have more SC. Like, what more can I add? Granted, mine is 100 SC, but
that's so satisfying.
but I find myself saying, "Damn, what do I do with all this extra SC?" Right? So she's very very good.
So the fact that I only added
a couple of things.
I added Scarlet Blade and multiplayer ring, which is 2,500 cap. She's hitting 28k innate. That's pretty goddamn good.
That's good. And her pursuits are nasty too.
Yeah, so let's do this. I want to get behind for backstab and check her ult because she got ultimate boost 3. Just see what it does. See what it does.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean that's like the worst estimate test. Those are shown.
That was the worst one. Come on, Zero.
I mean, well, also like their resistors, they're only resistant to the 2 elements that it does.
See, someone asked how's her ult. Well, if you see for this example, not that great.
Now, also, obviously, I could be doing more damage too. Like this is a super scuffed build, but like, if you want to see how she usually performs in like a more standard state, let's just go down to hard. And see,
okay.
Like, she has the zoomies and she's real fun. Is basically what the thing is. So you just spam S1 and you feel satisfied with your life. That's her play style.
Yeah, let's think of that. She is fun as hell, man. And that's because, like I said, you have a scuff builder, and I imagine actually putting in the little time that's needed to make her perform, accurately, and you're just gonna see her cap.
Yeah, that S1 is, oh man, it's my favorite skill, I want to say, and especially in arena, I've had many cases where I've taken out enemies and like on their decoy or their revive gear or whatever, the instant that they revive, Kohaku is just on them with their S1, and I've had it go back to back to back to back. It's just so satisfying using her.
And then Senku's rework, I don't have Senku sadly, so I didn't really do any testing on him. The only characters I had were, I mean, Gen got a nice rework, but it was nothing to like really test or anything like that. It was mostly.
I think the only things that we could really note is like Gen didn't need much in general.
Exactly.
So the fact they gave him neutral attack race 3 is just great.
Yeah, just a little icing. It was nice.
Well, like his main thing is like you're probably going to be using.
What?
What?
No, I'm like delayed. I just watched the video you one-shotting the ogre.
Oh, yeah. So Gen in general, like he's kind of known for like having crazy good Goddess Kiss procs, especially.
Yeah.
So like being a battery is insanely good for him. So this just makes it even more reliable.
Yeah.
And then also, if you happen to get that proc, the fact that he got a 20% damage cap increase, like, is kind of good. So like the max before that he could get, unless you built damage cap on him, was 200 MP, which
Right.
is exactly enough for Honey Elixir
Mhm.
or WAP. So this bumps it up to 240, so he could potentially use another spell to be able to support or whatever, and then go into a Honey Elixir. So like if you're completely maximizing him as a battery, just makes those procs potentially extra meaty, which is nice. So good stuff. Very, very nice.
And
You
Senku
guys,
jawline, were you able to test out Senku at all?
well, I
I
mean, yeah. So I E5'd Senku, Kohaku, and Tsukasa because I don't have Gen or Chrome, but
Okay.
Senku, I know he got the the damage, but the magic or the science magic damage buff, but I didn't really use him for that. I used him just for his trait that gives 30% more damage to the the fire, ice, earth, and thunder. And that definitely made a difference. Well, I wouldn't say definitely made a difference. I forget what it is. What was it before? Was it 20% or 25% or
Something like
something like
that,
that?
yeah.
But anyways, long story short is I just used him as an enabler in arena for Kohaku, and yeah, he very nice pairing just because he buffs Earth Element and she's Earth Element. So outside of his buff, I didn't use him, but with his buff, pretty cool.
Nice.
30% more damage.
Here, while you guys are talking, I may as well come in here, show you general playstyle. So, no Mel, throw some scissors. Oh look, I have no
Ooh.
skills. Let's go do some auto attacks. Oh look at that! I now have some skills.
Yeah, her
Jeez.
S1 basically gets filled almost instantly, and then S1 fills S2, then S2 fills S3. It's absolutely satisfying to see how fast her
Did
skills
you
fill.
notice those 30k crits on auto attacks?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
I did.
she's
I
nasty.
noticed.
No, and then her goddess, like you were saying earlier, I had no problem. Even on resistance, 50 resistance, she had no problem proccing Goddess Kiss. I was getting about 150 to 200 on return.
Yeah, this isn't like some crazy showcase. I'm just like in
Yeah,
general.
yeah,
Being
look at
like,
that.
hey,
Look at that,
this is
dude. 30K.
It's okay. It's coming from you, Zero.
I mean, this was kind of like a big update, so it's going to be a little bit longer of a podcast. But we also did have the beast, for the beast, and Jawline has been absolutely destroying it lately, posting a lot of tips and tricks and then stuff like that. How are you enjoying that, man?
Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
oh no, yeah. I was gonna just wait till we moved into it, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So the monster event is actually my favorite thing about the entire update, just because it's bi-weekly, right? We're gonna have to. Is it 2 weeks, something like that? Anyways,
Yeah.
the point is they add monster gear, and they happen to add Gobble and Gaul, and you better believe I got Gobble's weapon. You get his weapon, you can craft his weapon, and then you can God Forge his weapon. Unfortunately, they didn't give him any break or anything like that, which kind of sucks. They give him his weapon has a 10% physical damage buff, and then it also has a 20% to fainted or enemies in break damage buff to the weapon. I mean, it's cool, right? I guess, but I really would have loved if they had given him maybe 50% more break, just because we have spear and then we have an axe. But apparently that was too much to ask. Whatever, Itis. But needless to say, you can only use monsters in the event. So even monster supports, you can't use like V supports or whoever supports. It has to be only monsters, including the support unit. And I don't have my screen to share, but if you are doing the monster event and you happen to have Pockle, built up for whatever reason, if you what I do to farm the stage is I honey elixir Pockle, because his S3, which I'm sure people don't use him or haven't used Pockle at all. Pockle's S3 is like map wide, like literally the entire map. It hits every single monster, no matter where. So I used Pockle as my wave clear. So leading up until the final stage, Beast Hunter, and then Pockle S3. So needless to say, Pockle is my event stage farmer, and I made the Salmea ring, which is the other event. We'll talk about that. But I made that ring, realized that you can't plus 40 it once you God Forge it. So I just left that alone. So I've just been using my orbs to farm the monster event for anima so that I can build up more anima so that way when monsters come out, I can instantly max out their weapon. And it should be noted that if you happen to have a monster that is already plus 20, like you already got all their prisms, if you have one of those and you have to use a prism to craft the weapon originally. So if yours is plus 20, that prism in the shop is now 500 anima. But if you don't have a monster that's maxed out, you can just grab a prism, whether it's like I believe it scales to like 200, 300, 400, or 500 or something like that. But you can use one of those low cost prisms to make the weapon. So for those that don't have plus 20 monsters, which I'm sure there's a lot of people, it's okay because you can use you can use a lower amount of anima to get the prisms to make the weapon. And what I'm doing is like I said, I'm just farming anima up to prep for future monster weapons. With the addition of also using anima, you do need the monster specific souls. I want to say that you need like 200 souls of that monster to like upgrade the weapon. So I went ahead and got 250 souls of all the other weapons. Or all the other monsters. Sorry, the only monster I'm missing is Hobgobble. I don't have 250 souls of Hobgobble, but all the other monsters, I have 250 souls. I think that's more than what you need, but it's better to have more than to not have enough. So, needless to say, I am prepping for future monster weapons.
Yeah,
sorry, I went on a tangent.
No,
Good.
no. I mean, honestly, I haven't had a chance. My monsters are pretty low level, so it's given me like an opportunity to start working on something. But I know like that's like your thing are the monsters. So I've been kind of following all your steps that you've been taking to make things a little bit easier because I'd probably be taking like the long way on everything. So, but yeah, no, the event looks pretty awesome. They gave us, like they said, they gave us quite a bit of stuff to work with this time around. So people have been pretty busy. Game's been actively playing Lost Cloudia for the past week. Just doing a lot of different things. But yeah, fire.
I don't know if any one of you if any one of you guys want to cover the summon event and how people are complaining about it.
Summon event? Wait, what are you talking about?
Yeah, the summons with there's the monster and then there's the summons. Salmea, Igneed.
Oh, summons. Gotcha. I don't remember really using them. So I was like, okay. I was
like, no. So the thing with the event, the summon event, is you have to the same thing with the monsters, right? You got to craft, you got to do the quest to then get materials to craft the ring, and then you got to do stages to farm mats to then upgrade the rings, and then you can make the God Forge version. I went ahead and made the Salmea one just because it's plus 3 SCT to all skills, and then it also gives you, I believe it's fast fort metas and I forget which other one, but I know it gives some fast skills. So basically, it's like the William Blake's poem book, right? From the DMC collab. It gives plus 3. Yeah, 3 SET. I went ahead and made that one just because I don't have Roy to go ahead and make the fire one, which gives at Godforge it gives a 10% damage to fire physical and fire magic damage. There is a ice one that gives 10% to ice physical and ice magic at the Godforge one. And then there is the Yggdrasil one, which when you are revived, you gain, I think it's Metis, Fort, and something else, but
Mhm.
it's the less desirable one. And the thing that people are complaining about is the fact that the event is too grindy.
Grindy. Yeah,
Well,
that's what I hear.
yeah, too grindy. I mean, I can understand, I guess, why they say that, but the way that these events were made, they were made with the intention that you have to grind them, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's also not, and it's not like you miss out on something like super
Right.
game breaking. So there's really no reason to rush to try to get them. Yeah, maybe eventually they'll let us plus 40 the God version ones, but as of right now, there's no reason to rush into them.
Just do it at your own pace.
Yeah,
Really.
just do it at your own pace, pretty much.
I mean, it's not Cloudia. I mean, when are you not grinding something at some point? I mean, you have God Forge. That's a grind. I mean, even for me, I still like, oh god. Now I'm completely out of crystals, so I'm grinding for crystals. I mean, I'm like on 3 reds. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. So I'm grinding for that again. Yeah, so it doesn't really bother me too much when I have to, constantly do something. And of course, I'm patient, so eventually I'll get it, and I'm fine with that.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. So Scorba here in my chat, he says that with orbs, like just naturally refreshing, he says that it's about 4.5 days to max out one ring. So if you're chasing all 4, you're more than likely going to have to refresh.
Yeah.
Which I'll admit, I did it just because
Of course.
I did it for the Salmeo ring, but I didn't know that you can go ahead and just view the Godforge one in the alchemy lab. If I had known that, I probably wouldn't refresh. I would have just used it on the monster event.
Right, right. Yeah, I need to actually start getting those rings done too as well.
But yeah, that's about all I got to say. I'm a big fan of the monster event.
Mhm.
I'm doing that instead of the summons event. So yeah.
You know that event was created solely for you when they did their they literally had
And
they all sat at a desk and they're like, yo, that Chad Line Coon guy, right? He loves monsters.
yeah, and the fact that they put Gobble as the first one,
Exactly. They literally probably thought of you, man.
it's very nice.
And then we have our showcase of all types of versions of Melee over here with
In the background, yeah.
Yeah, Zero's just doing
Oh,
zero.
good luck with that Lambda fight, man.
I'm not doing the entire Lambda
Oh,
fight.
okay. That
Amvir in the chat was looking for basically support just research build
Yeah.
for like her like stun side, kind of like what you'd run V for.
Mhm.
He just wanted to show that. Did you guys see when you guys were chatting about the monster one, like just the ludicrous amount of damage she was hitting?
Yes,
Just like
45k. Yeah, bro. I was
yeah,
like wide-eyed.
pretty okay. Even
Yeah.
like with no supporters and like no cap raise gear, just like the arc and her, she
Mhm.
was still at like 36,
Go
37k.
find a Sarah support and make it even better.
Pretty great. Yeah. I don't know
Mhm.
if I have many of those, but
Yeah. Yeah,
when
I
I
was
look,
thinking that too. I think I had 1 or 2. Like, damn, what a shit day to test. I was like, I tell
this might
everybody.
go horribly because I'm not bringing an allure unit, so like I might just get stunned, but we'll see.
But yeah, overall, this whole event that's been happening, this whole update that we had this past recent week has been a lot of fun with the new character dropping. We have the beast stuff, the summon stuff, and then Annie's around the corner. It's gonna be,
Amvir, you fucking with me right now?
which
What the
was
fuck? Lambda's +3 and everything. Get out of here, bro.
Bro, that's what I was gonna tell you. I was like, good luck with that. I actually took her in there yesterday and it went bad.
So that's a good example of like a boss where she can't get Terra Melt,
No, nothing could
except
happen. Like,
except that I'm guessing her blind debuff lets her put blind on. And then I bet with backstab she can probably still cap because of her stuff.
yeah.
So I mean I could test to see if like that's a good example of like where that could be applicable, you know?
Right, right. Are you using man-made ether?
Yeah, I
Oh, okay.
was for that particular build. Um well, yeah. I mean that was the whole point of what I was showing though. So what else should I go and stun just to show off that cuz I haven't actually tried this for her. Just like running her as pure like ailment research
Right, right.
spam. You know what? I could just do like encroaching dead and just see how that goes, you know? Or encroaching dread rather. There we go. See what happens.
And that's what's so cool about this character. There's a lot of fun testing, and it's not like boring testing either. You kind of want to just take her into everything and try her out to see what you can get away with. I see you running honey.
So
Looks her nice. Wait,
her magic animation where she just like does the Matrix
yeah.
and her wings are just blowing. Like, dude, it's so cool. Her animations are so awesome. Hey, look at that. One swing. Oh my god, look at this. It's
Yeah,
gross.
you
Gross.
have
Yeah,
full
so, like
stock.
if you build to maximize it, it's great. But like this isn't better than like all the other units that can do this stuff.
Right, right.
So let's see. We asked about like not using swords. I literally have no swords. I'm not even getting sword mega or sword high boost right now.
Yeah.
So
1, 2, 3,
let's see.
4. You have 6 ailments on them right now. I think I saw.
A lot. Yeah.
Damn.
So like that's pretty good. I mean, this guy has lots of defense, so like there's not much that can be done there. But
She is
yeah,
absolute blast to play with.
yeah, for sure. More importantly, like if you lean into this side of her with like ailments and stuff, obviously paranoia just gets crazy. So it's pretty great.
So yeah, if someone's re-rolling. Remember, get Caldina, Sandworm, her, and 30k banner, and you're gonna be set for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, like Caldina and Sandworm is probably a bit of a stretch to also then get her.
Oh no, one or the other. One or the other. Caldina or Sandworm.
Yeah. Well, you can also settle with others. Like I'd argue Icy Guardian is a totally valid starter pick for her
Definitely.
specific.
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
So Neo over here on my chat wants to know what are some alternate arcs if you didn't happen to pull Maylys, what would be some alternate arcs for her?
Literally any DPS arc is totally fine. Yeah.
Icy Guardian, and then we were also talking about in chat about her pursuit damage. If you wanted to build her pursuit, Heaven's Bow, Star Lord, really good for pursuit damage as well.
Like, I mean, yeah, she revolves around ailments, and just being able to capitalize off of them. But essentially, she's another DPS with some flavor. So any other DPS arc that you run on your other DPS, you could probably still run those on her.
Yeah. If you're looking to maximize like paranoia to get your abilities back, or the CC side of her, like I just was, you can just run man-made ether.
Right. Oh yeah,
like
definitely.
that budget thing. Literally everybody has it. She comes with stun research. She comes with eco research. This basically doubles the chances of her research is happening. So this is also like if you're not relying on weapons to do stuff. Like if you still want to run a DPS build, this still works because this only affects your research skill. So it's not going to help Cactus Hammer and stuff like that.
Right.
So if I just simply swap back to like what I was on, like a normal person build, it's not fucking just for CC. So like this is the type of build you'd run on V with her. And I'd say something else to note. I mentioned that if you run an ailment support with her, she kind of misses out on a little bit of that paranoia stuff. But one way you can get around that is just be more tactical in what they apply. Like if you just want to be doing damage with her, okay, then she does blind and curse with her skills. If you happen to have paid gear like poison that does poison or silence, cool. Just don't apply those 4 with your other support. Have them do stun and poison if you got the silence paid, or stun, poison, silence if you have no paid at all. But don't do the other ones so that she can still have room to do it when she's spamming skills,
Yeah.
Honorable mention for a sword as well. If people were around back with the Logia event, that I'm sure will get rerun. Not a bad little sword. Plus damage to things that are silenced. Gives you a 3% chance to silence on regular attacks. Not too bad.
And then you can use Monkey Baby, right? Isn't it a 30% increased damage? For
you sure can. That was my initial build actually. Before
Monkey Baby build? Nice. I love that.
It wasn't specifically Monkey Baby. It's just I had room, so I was like, why not run a bunch of stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
For those that don't know, Monkey Baby is on the Final Fantasy Adventures arc from the Secret of Mana collab. So unfortunately, you can't run it or you can't get it anymore. But if you happen to have the arc, then Monkey Baby for damage and for also applying silence, it's a pretty good skill for her.
The Secret of Mana arc, right?
Yeah, no, Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy. I was gonna say because I actually been using Secret of Mana arc for physical damage lately, just because when swords equipped, the number of buffs you get, the more max physical damage, which is really nice too. If you guys have that arc and not any other DPS ones, I've been using it. It's pretty fun. Works pretty well too.
Yeah, and then people here are saying Moonlit Murder as an arc, which I agree because she does have that, um, chance to apply blind. So that's a thing. That could be pretty useful too.
Just ailment god.
Yeah,
Throwing him out like
that
Yeah,
candy.
totally is a valid option for sure. And
Logia
then
on steroids.
and then if you decided to go into something like Moonlit Murder, you could
Uh-huh.
then make one of her swords be Hercules Edge from the last event. That increases your feint damage. That's a 50% damage buff
Yeah.
for that, while still maintaining double swords. Not damage buff, feint damage
Faint,
buff
damn,
specifically.
yeah.
So then if you feint things, you have extra chance to kill in addition to her Goddess Advocate, which already has a chance to insta-kill. So, yeah, good stuff for sure. What other stuff did I have on her? Just a little bit of damage here and there. Yeah, it doesn't matter. This is fine. We're just gonna show man-made either. I mean, I'm just dicking around and doing some showcase stuff. So is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about or touch on? in regards to this?
No, I'm good.
Not really? Okay.
Jawline?
No, I don't. I mean, I would have liked to have showed like Tsukasa and Kohaku, but in arena at least. But I just don't have it pulled up at the moment. So
Yeah.
other than the, I gave my 2 cents on the monster event. I'm a big fan of that. Tsukasa nukes with his S3, but becomes useless after he uses his S3. Kohaku, it's really fun to use in arena now, especially when built right. And then Melee. I think she's a cool unit. I don't think I've given my thoughts on her, but I think she's a really cool unit, especially that she revolves around ailments, which we don't really get too many. Logia and V, the other units that are focused, or not really focused, but like can do the ailment stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But uh, yeah, Melee is cool. I don't know. I'm not really inclined to pull for her, but I'm not gonna deny the fact that she's really great if you happen to get her. But the arc, I happen to get the arc, so I'm a huge fan of the arc just because I have her or have the arc. But even if I didn't have the arc, I still would say the arc is really nice regardless.
I assume you guys were seeing what we're seeing here. These 35k caps easily mopping stuff up. This is man-made ether. Just
Wow. Yeah, look at that.
went in and applied some ailments. I didn't use my honey elixir at all. Way more than enough skills to do way more than damage that I need to do.
Got the stage almost instantly. Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah,
so
actually, I
I
mean,
don't know
Jawline, if you
anything
really
else to add.
no, I mean, honestly, if you wanted to show off, do you have Tsukasa built right now?
Oh yeah, I have Tsukasa.
Did you want to do a screen share of so you can show them off in arena?
I mean, it's pretty complicated. I hate doing it on Steam just because it's fucking mouse and like much more clicking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I just take my word for it. Tsukasa is really great. Kohaku is really great too.
Wait, don't pull jaw.
Do you want me to like show arena with her at all?
I mean, yeah, if you want to, yeah, sure.
All right, sure.
Oh, looks like you have it ready. Oh, look at you have it ready to go.
Oh, now I know. Now I see the strats. Now I know what to build against.
I already told you what I do. So, you want to see full auto or manual first? I mean, manual will be scuffed anyway because I'm on mouse. But
Yeah, like I said, do auto.
That's the thing with your Discord, Jawline. Like everybody knows what everybody's doing. It's really you're not safe in there.
I'm not.
She got nuked right away because she got piled up on from other people.
So
this is gonna end up being an Eliza showcase.
This is what happens when things go wrong. Okay, so
hey, that 16 HP though, 16k HP for Melee is pretty nasty though.
Yeah, I can't find my mouse. My mouse isn't showing up in Steam.
You don't need a mouse. You're on auto. It's fine.
Bro,
Yeah, I know,
but you came back. Look at that comeback though.
You can at least see this stuff. But like she was just spamming S1s and getting them back instantly too.
Judging by what you have on ailments too, I think I see. Actually, I can't see shit. It's just too much happening.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
I talk about how bad my Android frames are. My Steam doesn't do a ton better. Too many things happening. All right, but I'll show you like the general like what I normally do when I'm actually doing this stuff. So sure, this looks like a pretty average blah team. Why not? Just a Mikasa and a Luke. Not really anything that matters, but we'll see if I can click this quick enough because I want to controller S3 basically. Nope, couldn't do it. Where's it going? All right, we're gonna turn off auto. All right, so I did that on Luxeus. Luxeus coming in. Luxeus isn't dead. Cool.
Oh.
But everybody else is over here, except for over here. I think I want to take care of Theria before I get the other
Please
guys.
do. I don't want to see God
So
heal.
let's just spam some scissors here.
It's a scissors.
Cool.
Nice.
Let's spam some more scissors. Oh wait, Lug is back up? Oh well, that's just not gonna do.
Oh.
You can die again.
Oh, shit.
Oh no, Theria's up again. You can die now. You can die too. Oh no, Mikasa has arrived. I don't care.
Oh my god.
Let's wait to spawn and then we're gonna do another S1. Oh no, he was immune. I guess I'll S3. Cool.
I guess.
Diedrich, if Diedrich, if you're out there, this is not personal.
This is literally any team that she fights.
Yeah.
So, like
high value outside of PvE.
I manualed against your new team, Ja, and I autoed and it held up decently well. I manualed and killed it in like 15 seconds or something.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. she was not bothered. She didn't give a single fuck against your new defense at all.
It's fine. It's okay. I approve.
Casual 60k, no problem.
You know what? I'm gonna just give my units light shield and God shield. Easy.
Good. Just jack up that light res so that I can't get through it with my weak that's on Theria and the anima from her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
Absolutely.
I wonder if I can...
Disgusting in arena.
Yeah, just go to there you go. I haven't done arena in a while. All right.
I'll see if I can bully Jawline at all.
Go ahead. No, do auto. Make me look good. Do it on auto.
No, people don't want to sit here for 10 minutes watching God heals, man.
I say nuke him.
No, don't do it.
Bully him to the ground. There we go.
All right, so let's see. Since we want to be on the back line, I guess I'll go for Lou.
Lou, get him out of there. We don't want to see that dude.
But again, like I said before, I just want to be back here. So we'll do that. I guess we'll take out Theria just because I know your God heals are annoying.
Suck it.
Starts. All right, so now that I'm next to her, at least I can start scissoring. She's real good at scissoring.
No, I'm gonna need you to stop using that phrase, please.
Please.
Oh no, your black hole is happening. What am I gonna do?
That's not any better.
Get dragged in the middle.
Jawline, he's got your black hole.
My defense.
S1.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna need you to stop spawn camping. This ain't Call of Duty.
Yeah.
You don't like S2s, I guess I'll waste them on Rudo. Oh, he died anyway, I guess.
No. Oh, wipe. Damn, John.
I don't know where your units are, so I'll just clicking S1. She'll find them because scissors are great.
Oh, her scissors.
Hey, 31 seconds. Fuck you.
Yep. I let you get some God heals, and I had some CC on me.
Damn, ton of farm Jawline.
I will say, I don't always have super high numbers against you, at least. So, as far as max damage, so nice. You at least know how to build damage mitigation. I give you that.
So there you have it. She is great in PvE and PvP.
Dude, she's ludicrous in here. Now, I will say, I don't know how she is with some different arcs and stuff. I am completely addicted to running this on crit characters. Job
I wonder why.
Before, and I fucking love it. I'm in love with this arc. Even with royal armor going around and other ways of reducing crits, if you have a sword, if you happen to hit a crit, you auto break enemy guard. And I feel like that just helps me with nuking some of these tanks. Maybe not, maybe it does, but also when supports are running guard packages and stuff, I don't know. So I'm not running any damage increases on my arc, so that could be better too. This is her breaking guard with her arc, and that's the damage she's outputting right now. There's no skill damage up, there's no crit damage up.
It's just breaking guard.
That's crazy.
And that was her performance.
An R arc in top tier arena. That is just
dude,
yeah, the wording on it is definitely not what it does.
For what, the arc?
Yeah, the broken sword at the shore.
Oh yeah. When a sword is equipped, critical damage plus that and break enemy guard. Yeah, because it doesn't say basically on crit break enemy
Yeah,
guard.
you have to crit in order to break the enemy
Yeah,
guard.
it doesn't mean every hit just auto breaks guard. You have to be
No.
critting it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this
That
is
would
very
be
unclear.
busted.
Bad translation.
Yeah.
But
But
still, for an R arc, it's really it's
either
crazy.
way. So hopefully you at least see why, like, I feel like she definitely is among the pinnacle of PvP offensive units.
Definitely.
Like, that's ridiculously easy mode, in my opinion. And like I said, she easily replaced Roy in my full auto. So yeah, I mean, this is how I normally do arena. I don't play. I just I pick a team that doesn't have Roy because it's a little bit of a dice roll on if he's going to be okay or not.
Right.
And I just full auto and it does stuff.
Yeah.
Or Theria just dying.
That's okay because I have Soul Hunt, so I intend her to
Oh,
die so that Eliza gets a 30% damage buff.
nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty okay. It's pretty
That's
okay.
really cool, Zero. It's fun. It's actually fun to watch too. Really. You've actually
More fun
it's
to watch
it's
Melee.
weird just to see like mages in arena again and performing so well. It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Mages in arena because of Masha.
Yeah. Oh,
I
man.
drunkenly shared my secrets one day, and then it
Yeah.
started taking over.
And then
It was great.
it just changed. It literally changed the arena meta.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it changed the arena
What do
meta.
you mean? Yes, it did.
Much. But I don't think it changed. Like, most people still don't do it. Like,
Okay,
it changed
all
what
right.
people need to think about, but like people aren't changing their defenses to like go against magic. Like,
No,
why?
you just
They're
can't.
still against physical.
Even
Because,
if
you know,
even if they were to change and try to counter or build towards magic, bro, there's very few magic damage mitigation that you can use anyways. So there's really no way to build against it.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think we're probably good to just be done here. I'm just gonna auto
Yeah,
run my
absolutely.
arenas here.
Yeah, I'm over here just staring
Win.
at his arena. It's like,
So PSA for anybody that didn't know for some reason, especially new players, we've got the ×4 arena points going on now. So you get ×4 points. The cap is
oh,
super
nice.
high. So you get 200 points a day. So in 3 days, you can have spell render on a fresh account. So like, do it. You'll be climbing much quicker in arena.
Hey, someone wants to know why the hell do you have screen shake on your account?
Because it's Steam and I don't play on Steam at all.
Oh, okay. There you go, Neo.
Yeah, I don't have settings like changed at all. There's probably a whole bunch of janky stuff in settings that I would not normally have.
Cause it adds character, bro.
So this Steam is normally just for my alt account that I don't even maintain really anymore.
Right. All right. So I guess we can actually close that out here, guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking around, hanging out with us during this podcast. Little inconveniences in the start of it, but we came out good. But I'm gonna go ahead and be putting everybody's YouTube and Discords in the chat and the description down below for you guys, so you guys can go check them out. Make sure you guys do that. But anything you guys just like to say before the podcast ends?
Good to go. Thanks for stopping by live, everybody. I
Awesome.
appreciate it. If you got any feedback on the podcast, what we can do better, if there's just anything in general,
Yes.
feel free to reach out in the comments or even DM us over in Discord.
Absolutely.
We're happy to chat.
Yeah, if anything to help
Yeah.
it, make you guys have a better time in here. Just let us know, like you said. But again, thank you guys so much for sticking around, and we will check you guys on the next one. Peace.
See ya.
Bye bye.